Going on, big homies? Welcome to Now That's Anime. My name is Malcolm, and I think the biggest topic I want to get started on today is the Naruto movie. Now, we know that the Naruto movie has been delayed for Lord knows how long, but more than anything, I want to talk about continuity. And when we speak about continuity, I'm thinking in my mind that Naruto has such a rich history of having different plot points, all the different characters that we fell in love with, characters that we grew up with some of us, and to tell that story in probably an hour and a half, 2 hour movie, it's going to be tough. Now we've seen the trailers or concept trailers, the live action trailers here on YouTube, and if those are the trailers themselves, then that is awesome. It looks awesome. The jitsu looks awesome. The summonings look awesome. You have predominantly multiple characters that I think everybody's looking for. But with most live action movies, it comes down to how much can you fit within a certain time frame. Now, it's kind of funny when we talk about time frames because when you go down and you look at live actions like The Full Metal Alchemist or Rurouni Kenshin, you look at those movies and you're like, wow, you fit probably part one to, season one, season two. And I think a lot of people, if the movie does well, which let's face it, the Full Metal Alchemist movie did not do too hot. But, the movies do well, you follow up, the movie with the next season. You follow up with the next season of the plot points that we all know and love. Now, Naruto spanned it more than more than two, more than three, more than 4 years in some sense, and that's including the fillers, that's including Naruto and also Naruto Shippuden. So to actually have to tell all that into one story, I think that's going to be super tough. And it's probably not going to sell a lot of people. And the nostalgia bias that some people have is going to be insurmountable for some people because at the end of the day, you won't get everything right. And I think most live action features do not get everything right. But when we look at it for what they try to do or what they're trying to do, I think the big thing is can we at least get characters that feel connected to the story? Can we get actors that feel connected to their character that they're playing? Can we tell the story that no matter how much it's going to be shrunk and stretched to fit, a movie time frame, can we at least get something coherent that is going to have people, vibing with it, bouncing, with it? And at the end of the day, what these studios are looking for is to make money. But it's kind of hard to make money if you're not appealing to the audience that you're going to appeal to. You're appealing to millennials. You're appealing to some, Gen Zers who, are riding the train. You're appealing to cosplayers. You're appealing to, new and up and coming people who've never heard of Naruto, which, for some people that's kind of tough. But at the end of the day, you kind of have to know your target audience. You have to know at the end of the day that, hey, we need to make something that's going to appeal to everybody, that's going to appeal to people's interests, and push it out. Naruto is such a rich story that you don't need to add agendas, you don't need to add any of these like high talking points that we have going on today because most of Naruto covers most talking points. So there shouldn't be no need for extra um and I don't want to say wokeness because that wouldn't be technically correct. It doesn't need to have extra steps to make it so you can appeal to a certain demographic of people because it's going to appeal to them anyway if the story is there. These same people that complain about it, they're not the ones who's buying the media. They're not the ones who's reading the manga. They're not the ones who's buying the video games. They're not the ones who's supporting the movies, the anime, the directors, the writers of the show. So how is it that you look at a small subsection that speaks the loudest, but you aren't looking at the majority of people that just want you to do what they know right? How can you look at shows today, and especially anime today, coming out in Western media and be like, this is right because it just fits with them. But if it just fits with them, you're chasing worldwide money, but you're looking at United States as the big money bag. But if no one in the United States is looking at your production, looking at what makes a story rich, because you have all the extra things that's going into it, you're not going to make any money. You'll find an uphill battle against yourself. So how is it? That we can now have all these live action movies? How the directors and developers of the shows come out and help or give some screen thought to it, and you do nothing with it. You literally take inspiration and ideas and you change it to fit your media and your media bias, and you wonder why it doesn't sell. So at the end of the day, what we're looking at here is a timeless tale classic of what Naruto is and how we're going to stretch that to fit within a certain amount of time frame. We're fighting uphill battle with this. I want the movie to do well. Like I said, the trailers look cool. The CGI looks decent. It's being produced by Lionsgate, so they might have more funds to put towards the movie than some other small directing groups and stuff like that. But we've been in wait for so long. I think a lot of people tend to forget that this movie's coming out. Like this movie's supposed to be a thing, and I think at the end of the day, finding the right cast, producing the right movie, if you come out with a story that's already good and it's already been written, if you come out with it, then hey, take as long as you need, because we need to get something that has been done well, something that's going to appeal to your core fans, and you can sprinkle in some, new things a little bit for the newer fans, and I think everybody's going to be happy. Now, what a lot of people are not happy with right now is Cowboy Bebop. Now, at the end of the day, with Cowboy Bebop, they sabotage themselves with this. That's all. That's all it really is. It's a sabotage of oneself. We have high hopes for the movie. I do, at least. I'm going to watch it. But when you have people who write news articles about things that they really don't understand, you really don't understand where the backlash comes from, but you say it's from people who are only looking for certain things, or they're looking for things that only the male gaze will look at. You're looking at things that only certain small group subsection of people will bash you about. But at the end of the day, when we look at live action remakes, all it really needs to be is the show being remade with a live cast. Obviously, you cannot do animated related things, certain things that went down in these shows into real life. But there's a story that's being told, and I think we gotten away from storytelling. We need to tell stories. We need to write good stories. You have every single feature in your show, in your movie, but nothing will appeal to people if you do not tell the story. How can we appeal to the masses if the masses looks at it and you just destroy things before it even comes out? Now, I'm not even gonna get started on the whole actress and everything that was going on with her. That's been beaten down. We killed that horse already. But when you're looking at shows like this, which all comes back to storytelling, you need to appeal to an audience. Again, nostalgia. Cowboy Bebop is older than Naruto. I remember coming on, staying up late at night watching Toonami. I was watching Toonami to watch Cowboy Bebop, S-Cry, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, Outlaw Star, Big O, all these animes that came out back in the day. My nostalgia as an old man, all these animes that came out back in the day, they were such great animes. And to do them justice, you just need to watch them. Take inspiration. Talk to the creators. As we can look at Polygon here, Polygon can go down and say how they feel about this, how they feel about the movie and their take on who the character Spike is, who the character Faye is, who the character Jet is, even down to the cute dog, you know, down to Ed. And you can tell that, hey, they looked at some parts of the show. They looked at, what makes each character unique in the show, but it's about piecing it together. And social media is what's going to hurt the show in the long run because at the end of the day, when you're fighting against people who love the show, you're fighting against the developer's vision, you're fighting against money, you're fighting against the talent that these actors do have because these actors look okay. The costumes look okay. I mean, there's rough in certain areas like Jet's legs and his arm. It's kind of but again, you're transferring anime over into real life. Could have been done better. Of course, it could have been done better. But what can you do? What can we do? We can't do anything about it. That's just the way that, the writers and developers and costume makers have done it. The whole Faye thing, yeah, I mean, I get it. She doesn't have on the same costume that she had on in the anime. Um, I could fight against that, but at the end of the day, I'm not. It is what it is with that. But can we tell Faye's story? Can we tell her story? Every character has a background story, a rich background story. Can we tell the story of what it means to be, a space cowboy? Now, when we're going to do down here with Polygon, and Polygon is so funny because at the end of the day, when you read Polygon, you can read Polygon and it has two sides to a story. It has a side of an agenda, and then somewhere sprinkled in there, somewhere in their stories, there are hits and bits of truth that I think a lot of people don't read too far into because of the fact that Polygon kind of tells things that incites controversy a little bit. But this is just a basic Polygon story. This is just a basic Polygon story, pretty much explaining that, what the characters represent, um, what the characters' motivations are, and how they all kind of met up and what they agree on and what they disagree on and stuff like that. So, like I said again, you look at the cast. The cast seems to fit okay. I don't have too beef with the cast. I know most of the cast except for Spike. I don't know what he played in. I'm going to look that up so I can be, accurate in any more for the videos that I do. The only thing I know old girl from is Jurassic Park. and I didn't like Jurassic Park. Well, Jurassic World, excuse me. But hey, it is what it is with that one. Now, it was a bad movie. Not saying she was a bad actor. It's just a bad movie. Now, the big thing to take away from this is storytelling is key. Storytelling has always been key. We just hope for the best and we hope that we make it work. Now, me personally, I love Cowboy Bebop. I love all the old retro animes. Well, mid 90s, early 2000s. I do look at 80s anime too. And I will be doing a Toonami Adult Swim anime nostalgia review series that's going to come up. That first video I believe is going to drop next Tuesday, and we're going to get started on remembering some of the things that I grew up with, and maybe some of you guys and girls grew up with, because at the end of the day, nostalgia is kind of all we have now. You can buy the DVDs, you can buy the merch, you can buy the posters, you can buy the figurines, everything. But those time of those animes are gone, and it seems like no one wants to recapture some of those moments. You do have certain few animes which I'll also review in the future, but it's just something that hit hard about those Adult Swim Toonami animes. Now, I want everybody to be awesome. I want all my big homies to feel well. Make sure that you mask up and have a great day.